the Aunty and Brain Tumours Talk Show on podcast.
Hi, my name is Sarah, and I was diagnosed with an oligodendroglioma grade 2 in July last year. My story is kind of weird because I didn't have any symptoms to start with. So, no symptoms, completely healthy, no headaches, no memory loss. I mean, the occasional memory loss, but I have a toddler, so maybe I thought it was just like bomb brain. But I had a seizure July 9th, a grand mal seizure, so it was a little scary for my husband. He didn't know what was going on. So he started CPR and he had like the ambulance people on the speaker. And so we had like two firefighters and two police and like ambulance show up at the house. And the whole time I was blacked out. I do remember how it started. I was talking to my husband. He had forgotten his keys actually that morning. So he came back in and I just started like stuttering. I was trying to say something to him and I couldn't. And then I just blacked out. I don't remember anything else. I was coming into the ambulance. I think on the ambulance ride, I had a second seizure, which I don't remember, was either in the hospital or in the ambulance. I don't remember. Apparently, I had a CT scan. Don't remember that. Was completely out. And then I remember when I came to, we were in the emergency room and this nurse was asking me like, "What's this? What's this?" And I was like, "Oh, that's a pen. Like, why are you asking me such weird questions?" And then they had the results from the CT and she told my husband we found a tumor on her brain. And my husband was like completely shocked. Like he didn't know what to do. She said, "Do you want to sit down?" Like he was completely out of it. And for me, I think I didn't really realize the seriousness of it at the time. Like we didn't know what kind of tumor it was. And so I was just kind of, I think maybe from the seizure, I don't know, or maybe they'd given me some kind of drugs, I don't know, but I was just, I don't know, I didn't realize the seriousness of it at the time. And so they took me upstairs to the ICU, I believe. Actually, it was like the stroke unit. And yeah, that's how it all kind of started. They said, "We'll take you for an MRI, I think the next day." But in general, I wasn't really scared. Like, I'm one of those people, I have very high anxiety. I'm one of those people, like, normally I would be Googling and looking at what kind of tumor it was, all that. But it didn't occur to me to really do that at the time. I was texting my husband. I said, "Oh, can you bring me some Sudoku or some coloring books or something so I don't get bored?" And there was a soccer game for Netherlands on like the next day. I said, "Can you bring me like some nacho chips and everything so I can watch that?" I just wasn't really, I don't know, taking it seriously. I'm not really sure why, but maybe because of the drugs they'd given me. I don't know. Like I had the MRI the next day and I was kind of joking with the doctors. And then the neurosurgeon came in to tell me what kind of tumor they thought it was, but it just didn't occur to me at the time that like I had a brain tumor. I don't know why. I think maybe I was in a bit of shock and I was still like that up until surgery, which was I think like a month and a half more than that later. And it still just it never really hit me until a couple weeks after surgery that I really started getting like very high anxiety. But before that, it just, I don't know. It just didn't occur to me like that it was that serious. I don't know why. I think I was probably in shock, maybe. So it was July 9th that I had the seizure, and it was August 26th that I had my surgery, which was coincidentally my wedding anniversary also. Oh, so that was the day that I started on the epilepsy drugs, and I haven't gotten off of them. Yeah, I had more focal seizures before my surgery, but then the neurosurgeon came in and he kind of made it seem like it wasn't that big of a deal. So I thought like, okay, it must not be cancerous. It's probably fine. He said, "Oh, it's like nothing major. We'll just take it out and you'll be fine." And I was like, "Oh, okay, that's, not bad information." Okay. They referred me to another hospital with, I think, like the best neurosurgeon in the country. You always want the best neurosurgeon. Um, but yeah, they referred me to that hospital. And then when I had the meeting for that one, then he was like, "No, it's like like really big. It's the size of like a peach and it's cancerous. It's incurable." Like I was like, "Oh, okay, that's definitely not what I was expecting." So then I was like, just like emotionally had like a breakdown because I was like, "This is crazy. Like you're telling me this now when the other neurosurgeon said, 'Oh, it's no big deal.'" So I had no idea that it was cancerous or that it was so big or anything like that. They told me I would definitely need surgery because it had caused a seizure. And he told me Because of the size, like it was so big that we definitely have to do surgery. And I think some people get like a biopsy, but he said like we're gonna go in and just take it out. And then I had to be awake. That was the only thing that kind of freaked me out, was the awake craniotomy. But I was actually super calm, which they were surprised by. Yeah, I was really calm. I had some meetings with the neuropsychologist before that, and she said, we're going to do some practice. Like, these are the words you're going to read when we wake you up. And I also speak some Dutch because I live in Netherlands. So, but I told him like everything has to be in English because this is like medical stuff and it just, I'm too nervous. Like I have to be able to speak English. But she told me actually during the surgery that I started repeating the words in Dutch. Like I was translating the cards. So that was kind of funny. They also had a picture. You had to say things that were pictures. And I think I had like 2 hours that we did the tests that I was awake, which I don't remember actually too much of now. It's weird because you think brain surgery would be so scary, but it's actually the symptoms and things that come with it that's so scary. I think we got the results like a week later just to find out what kind of tumor it was. So it was very nerve-wracking week. But most of that week I was in the hospital, which is, yeah, kind of nice. But he told me he got like 90 to 95%. So the most recent MRI, I actually asked her, like, where's the rest of the remaining tumor? And she said, like, it's just on kind of the edges, because now there's like a big black hole there. So there's just like a little bit of tumor on the edges. And he said, like, in hindsight, he probably could have gotten more. And if I have surgery again, which probably will in the future, then he will try to get that bit. But I've really gotten in touch with like positivity and like the mind body connection and things like that. Like I watch a lot of Wayne Dyer videos. And I watched a lot of brain surgeries, which my husband thought was like super weird. But I was like, I want to know what's going to happen. Like, it doesn't freak me out or anything. I really want to like see a full brain surgery because then I'll know like what they're doing. So that was kind of, yeah, in the beginning, I really looked up brain surgeries and YouTube channels specifically with all different stories from people that have had like near-death experiences. And so I kind of became obsessed with those for a while. And then I started reading like different books from this Anita Morjani, she has one, and Wayne Dyer, and just things like that that kind of feed my positivity in a way. I want to quote Wayne Dyer because he said a really nice thing, an interesting thing. He said, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And I thought that's a really nice quote. And yeah, I don't believe, like, I know people don't believe certain things, people have different beliefs, but from the NDE videos that I watched, just the spirituality that people have is really interesting.
This is the Aunty and Brain Tumours talk show. It's a show full of informative chat and inspirational messages. The Aunty and Brain Tumours talk show on podcast.